Hey everyone, it's Yvonne Emile Elizondo from Let's try that again. It's Yvonne Emile Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology. Somebody told me the other day, and I can't remember who it was. Oh, yes, yes, yes. It was a beautiful lady. She works within neurology, and she told me that if I slow down, that my words would come out clear, right? Yes, I have a tendency of rushing my words out. Why? Because I have Mercury retrograde at the very top part of my chart on the midheaven. So what does that mean, Yvonne? That means that I have a tendency of rushing through stuff, everything. Everything. And it's not just ADHD, it's because of my chart. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is me, Yvonne Emil Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology. Yeah. Okay, so, why am I here? I am here. Why am I here today? Full moon. Full moon in Aquarius. That's why I'm here. See, I get off on a tangent and there goes. Poof. It's like my thought bubbles. It's like I have my thoughts, right? And they all just kind of go here, there. And then all of a sudden I'm like, where did they go? All right, but that's not about the full moon today. The full moon today, tonight, tomorrow actually. What date are we? Okay, let's start all over. Let's just start all over. Welcome. Welcome to my crazy brain. Yes, maybe that's what I should call this. My crazy brain life. Welcome, everybody. Let's talk about the Aquarius full moon that is happening on August the 9th at 2:54 a.m. Central Standard Time. And so this full moon will be in all its glory on August the 8th, Friday at night. And it will also be in its full glory on August the 9th on Saturday night. So we can enjoy this beautiful full moon. I felt like Effie Trinket in that moment when I went, I don't know, there's a part in Hunger Games where she's like, just enjoy life. Something like that, right? In that moment, I just felt like that. I love Effie. All right, let's talk about this full moon. Let me show you the chart. I hope everyone is doing well. Oops, I already have the chart pulled up and I don't remember where it was. There it is. Okay, here we go. So we do have this Aquarius full moon. And Aquarius is fixed air. Okay, so the air element represents more of a mental quality. So this full moon is really going to have more of a mental resonance to it. So here we go. There is a lot happening in the astrology as we speak. So here is the Aquarius full moon. And on the opposite end, we have the sun in Leo. All right. We do have some other stuff going on, but I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to overcomplicate things here with the astrology. But I do want to point some stuff out that's also happening. So here we have Mercury retrograde in Leo. How has Mercury retrograde been treating y'all? Yeah, it's been a bit of a it's been a bit of. Okay, and it is opposite of Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So we do have this going on. And then we also have Mars, okay, opposing Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde. Yes, but we also have some really good stuff. Okay, and the good stuff is that we have Mars, okay, hanging out with Pluto. That gives us a lot of, you know, emphasis and power. And so there's some good stuff going on. Okay, but it is a very tense astrological time. August, I think, in a lot of people's opinions, was going to be the most challenging, gnarly, okay, challenging astrological month of the year. So, I mean, okay, let me slow down. Thank you, Gina, for reminding me to slow down. That's the beautiful lady that just said, "Hey, Yvonne, if you just slow down, just slow down." Okay, astrologically, let's try this. Astrologically, see, if I slow down, I'm going to forget what I was going to say. Astrologically, okay. Oh, I do want to mention that this is a different space for me, right? I am doggy sitting. My brother's family's doggies, Azul's cousin, Azul is right down here, and the other two cousins are downstairs because apparently Azul has separation anxiety. Who would think? One of my doggies has separation anxiety. Imagine that. Anyhow, so I am enjoying the space. It's beautiful. I don't know if you can see the walls, but I love the color of the walls. But anyhow, back to what I was saying. So, this Aquarius moon with the astrology, all right, there is a lot of tension happening right now, collectively and individually. Just this week alone, I have had, oh my gosh, probably about 8 or 9 clients, and then myself, and then some of my friends that are experiencing like this really tense just tense energy, okay? And it's not quite depression, that's not it. It just feels heavy. And man, I could not keep my eyes open after work the last few days. It was just really difficult. I felt just exhausted. So I don't know if I don't know if any of you are experiencing or have experienced that as well, but I'm going to just attribute it to the astrology. Again, the planets don't necessarily cause anything to happen, but it can tell us the cycles that we're dealing with, the energy that we're dealing with. And we do have a lot of really intense energy. I just showed you the chart. So all of those cross purpose, angles, yeah, those are not great. But again, not everything has to be negative, right? It just means that the way that we internalize that energy is really going to be up to us, and we can use it towards our benefit, or we can say, man, I got run over by the bus, or you got run over by the bus and then you learned. Okay. All right. So let's go back to today. I showed you the chart already. Okay, let's talk about the full moon. So basically, the full moon is a time of activation. Okay. The new moon is a time of introspection. It's a time of receptivity. You're receiving. Okay. It's a time of, internalization. The full moon is the opposite of that. It's activation, it's active, it's externalized, it's taking action, right? So, whatever intentions you set for the new moon, you can see after 2 weeks that maybe you need to take some action, or maybe something has happened and you need to integrate that into your life experience, into your body, into your emotions, whatever it may be. Okay, so the full moon is very much about activation. Okay, it's a great time to do magic work. It's a great time to put things into motion. It's a great time to you know, um, really be active in your growth, whether it's, mundane growth, like and I don't mean mundane like in just boring, I mean like in being human, anything, your career, your family, yourself, or it can be spiritual, right? So again, it's a time to be action oriented. All right. So let's talk about the Aquarius energy because it is a mentally focused energy. It's a fixed, so it's a very concentrated. It likes to really focus and hone in and use that mental capacity. Okay. And I'm going to start off by saying that so last night, since I was doggy sitting, I decided to watch Netflix, which I don't do very often, but I came across this really cool documentary, I think it kind of is, and it's about the Thunderbirds, right? The planes, okay, the jet fighters, right? And the artistic quality of the Thunderbirds. If you have not seen that show, I highly recommend it. Like, I know my brother wanted to be a pilot when he was younger. And unfortunately, his eyesight, didn't let him get into the Air Force Academy, but that's where he was headed. And I wanted to be a pilot. Okay. I always wanted to be like a test pilot. I know I was little, I was a kid, right? Obviously, that didn't work out for me, but when I watched this show, okay, the theme of this show, than the artistic quality of it, there is a purpose to my story here, is that the Thunderbird motivation was very much based on being something greater or having a greater purpose than just yourself, right? They have to work as a team. Okay. There's this essence of being perfect or perfecting their art, so to speak. Okay. Because it's of service to others. Okay. And that's a very Aquarian energy. Aquarius energy is about the humanistic part, right? It's about humanity as a whole. It's about integrating into what the collective needs, okay, instead of what the individual needs. So there's themes like service to others, the network, the larger group purpose, the essence of the whole. Okay, so those are some of the themes of Aquarius. But on a more refined, scale aspect, with more refinement, don't know. Okay. Aquarius energy is about stepping outside of the comfort zone. Okay. So I always compare Capricorn and Aquarius because both are ruled by, what are they ruled by? Ruled by Saturn, right? And Saturn is the timekeeper and it represents boundaries. So Capricorn is the traditionalist, so everything within the boundaries of Saturn, okay, and Aquarius is everything outside of the boundaries of Saturn. So Aquarius could be eccentric, it can be the rebel, it can be the explorer, the adventurer, it can be the genius, right? Because they're thinking outside the box, they're creating outside the box. Because Aquarius is a mental energy, okay, it is very much like the architect in the zodiac. Now, the architect creates the framework, right? The plans on paper, so to speak. And then let's say it hands it over to Capricorn, okay, or Taurus or Virgo, the earth signs, and then the earth signs actually put those plans into motion, right? They create the building. Here's the architect, here's the building, right? Okay, here is the program, here is the software. I don't know if that works. I'm not a tech gal, but Aquarius energy is very much in tune to technology. Okay, it's very much in tune to AI. All right. So it again, it's that mental, technological, expansive energy. So on a more spiritual level, it did remind me of the Thunderbird, motto, right? It's about being something greater than just to ourselves. It's like it's showing up for humanity, other than just showing up for ourselves. Okay. And so I feel like this full moon is going to be very much about that quality. Okay. I don't even know. I'm playing around with my thing here. It is very much about how what we bring to the collective, right? Everything is a web, right? I influence you, you influence me, and sometimes we don't even know that we're being influenced by each other, but everything is, a web and everything is connected. And I forget who says this. Is it Rumi? I don't know who says this, right? But it's like if we are a drop of water, individually, we are a drop of water. But when we get dropped into the ocean, we're still a drop of water, but now we're part of a greater experience. And that's what I feel this full moon is going to be about. Okay. It is about like taking into account how we individually integrate with the whole. Okay. And that could be, for example, as simple as, you as an individual and how you integrate, maybe in your job and with your coworkers. Each of you has a role to play, right? And collectively you make the teamwork. It could be in your family dynamics, right? Like how you show up for your family and, the role that you play with your family and how that influences, the family dynamics. It could be in relationships, okay? Or it could be just you, how you integrate with your life experience collectively with others. Okay, so this full moon is a great opportunity for you to gain some insight, right? Because that's what the full moon does. It reflects the light of the sun, so we have the capacity to see clearly. Unlike the new moon, where it's dark and we can't see things, the full moon is a very much expressive energy. It's a light-filled energy. And so my question to you then is, with this moon, maybe taking the time, is this a question? No. Okay, let me phrase it like a question. During this full moon might be a good opportunity for you to consider your role in how you show up for humanity. And it could be, again, as simple as your microcosm of a life, right? Within your friends, your family, your coworkers, your peers, right? Or it could be like, how are you showing up for humanity as a whole, right? One of the aspects of Aquarius energy is that sometimes it could be seen as detached emotionally, all right? And rightly so, it's more of a mental energy. So it processes emotions, more mentally than emotionally, right? And so there can be this essence of like being detached, okay? Maybe feeling individualistic, okay? But also focusing on the collective, right? So it's a very interesting type of energy. But again, I think that if we put it together, we can ask ourselves, how are we showing up for life? How are we showing up for, humanity as a whole? How can we be of service to other? How can we take the motto of the Thunderbirds, okay, and say, okay, this is something greater than just me, and how am I influenced by this, or how do I want to influence others to show up? Do I need to be the architect, okay, of, what I want to create and showing up authentically? And or am I allowing myself to be influenced by others, right? So these are great questions to ask yourself during this full moon. The astrology is pretty tense right now, but we also have some good stuff, right? So astrology, just because it's tense doesn't mean that it's negative, right? It just means that it provides us the opportunity to evaluate, right? And really take a look at where there's that tension in our life and where maybe we need some resolution. Do we need to make changes? Do we need to connect with others? Do we need to network, right? Do we need to be involved in, groups instead of just feeling like we're working by ourselves, right? And that's very Aquarius, themes as well. And if you keep in mind that the Aquarius full moon is a mental air, fixed, concentrated, energy, then on the opposite end, where the sun is in Leo, it is a concentrated or fixed fire energy. And fire is about motivation and action. Okay, so again, how are you being motivated to show up for this human life, this human experience? Something to ask yourself. So, all right, everyone. Let's see. I think that some of the crystals that you may want to use during this time are going to be crystal quartz. I love crystal quartz for mental amplification. Citrine is also, in my opinion, a more mentally, oriented crystal. Fluorite, okay, can also be used just as well. And let's see, what else? Um, I think today would be a great time for you to, you know, also take the time to write, okay, because Aquarius is very much about the mind. Okay, it is very much about planning and organizing and researching. Now, with some of the astrology that's happening right now with Mercury retrograde opposing Pluto retrograde, you might have the feeling or the obsession to like become the ultimate researcher, okay, and dig and dig and dig until you find the truth, right? With Mars opposing Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde, you might feel like, okay, once you discover something, you're going to take off with it, and then you realize that you're not really feeling like you're making progress, okay? Or you might feel like I do that we're being gaslit, okay? Gaslighted, gaslit. I don't know, but I have to tell you something. So this is just me because Aquarius represents AI and technology and progressive technology. Okay. I realized something the other day. So I was feeling like, ugh, right, with the astrology. And I realized that I have found myself watching and listening to information that is AI oriented, right? In other words, it's not a real voice, like it's not a real person that's I'm listening to, right? And suddenly felt like, oh, I'm not feeling the energy behind these words. Like I hear the words, but I'm not feeling the energy, the vibe that I would if it was a real person. Okay. And so for me, I need that connection. I need that, source of energy when I'm listening or when I'm learning to something or when, whatever it is. And I realize that when I listen to AI voice, it feels empty. I don't feel the energy behind it, right? I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that, but the more that I experience that, the more I'm thriving for energy, like the energy of Leo. Leo is a very authentic energy. It likes to be seen, be heard. Okay, there's just this really comfortable, loving quality about Leo energy. And I feel like right now, this is where we're at, right? It's the I need authenticity, but we're stepping into a very technologically, oriented era. And so maybe there's that struggle, right, between that Aquarius technological progressive energy and the comfort of classic Leo feeling, right? So again, there's that tug of war. So maybe where's that showing up in your life? Right. Okay. Again, it doesn't just have to be technological. It could be, within relationships, right? Like there's that need of that mental quality. And are you connecting? Are you all thinking the same? Are you on the same vibe versus the feeling? Right. And those are two different things. I hope I'm making sense, but if I'm not, too bad. That's your problem, not mine. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I really hope I'm making sense. Okay. Yeah, it's just a weird time. I just feel like it's an absolute weird time. But yeah, that's interesting. I was looking up I don't remember, it was a video. I don't I think it was a rosacea video. Of course it would be, right, with because of my skin, but I don't remember. But anyhow, I remember thinking to myself, wow, it's really cool that I can access information like all of a sudden it's just coming up, right? And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a second. Do I really need to know like all about my wrinkles? Although I should say that a few little extra pounds do help with the wrinkles. I think. I'm just saying. All right. Anyways, yeah, so enough of that. I just went off on a tangent there, but I hope that's made some sense. Okay, this Aquarius full moon is pretty intense. Okay, so use the energy wisely. All right, take action wisely. Consider humanity. Okay, especially nowadays, be of service to others, no matter what that means. If that means, believe in something greater than just yourself, believing, very strongly in your sense of identity within the group, um, just be kind. Just, it's just be kind. Just be kind. All right, everyone, that is it. I hope everyone has a great full moon, and I will see you soon. All right. Thank you for watching. Take care. Blessed be.